Good morning, Liberty.
Well, what is up, all of our liberty-loving friends? This is another fantastic episode of Good Morning Liberty. My name is Nate Thurston. Across from me is Mr. Charles Chuck Thompson, coming at you way too early on a mother-freaking Monday morning. Oh, how was your weekend, Chuck?
We got an early week this week.
Yeah, it's an early week. That's fine. It's
Lots of things to take care of before Thanksgiving.
It's the holidays.
It's the holiday season.
Love the holidays. It's so fun to have, that the one lunch with your family that ends up equaling tons of days of crazy stress and everything around it beforehand, because you got to have the one specific day that everyone's together,
Yeah.
And then there's another one like a month later where you have another dinner with your family, but you bring your family gifts afterwards or during, and so you got the month before is just scrambling to buy your family something that, if they wanted it, they should have bought it themselves, honestly, but whatever. It's fine.
Santa comes.
Santa, yes. Yeah. Sorry. This is not for children. That's too early.
Santa comes. I love Santa.
Anyhow, a lot of stuff happened over the weekend concerning MAGA.
Maybe Santa doesn't visit your house. You don't have kids.
No.
If you had kids, Santa would come.
Plus, I'm bad all year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really bad all year. Brings coals, but that's fine because I got a fireplace we like to run, and joke's on him, Okay, anyhow, this is Good Morning Liberty. We talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of meaning every single day of the week when we want to. I think this is episode 1672 or something. I don't know how many episodes it is.
Too many.
It's a lot of episodes. I should just delete some of the old ones. Why are they even there?
Nah.
We don't need those.
Leave them.
This is episode number 1 of Good Morning Liberty. Thank you guys for being here to hang out with us on this bright, beautiful Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. The question today, Charlie, is MAGA dead? I hear it's dead. I hear MAGA's dead.
It's fractioning.
It is.
Yeah.
It is definitely fracturing, and
Well, the leader's kind of gone socialist on us.
I don't.
So.
But the real MAGA people, they're sticking with Trump. I mean, look at all the stuff he's gone through in order to make America great. Just to play devil's advocate. I mean, you got prosecutions, assassination attempts, character assassination attempts. Too many assassination attempts, honestly. It's just a lot of them. And it's, there's a strong base of people who stick with him no matter what. And then there's people who came along with MAGA for the 2024 election that were maybe from the outside a bit, but there's kind of a coalition that got put together. And a lot of those people, I think, are, they're not the diehard, stick with him through every single thing, no matter what the idea is. It's not 5D chess, whatever. It's a stupid plan. And so those people are starting to fracture off a little bit.
Well, also, Trump's not going to be the president in 2028. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to do something different, or you have to pivot to make it further in the future elections.
Yeah. There's a few stories. One's the Epstein files thing. Then he officially unendorsed Marjorie Taylor Greene over the weekend. And that's a pretty big story because we've been doing this show for a long time. And I would say more than a few times we have mentioned Marjorie Taylor Greene as like the MAGA. I think
she's made it on Dumb Believe of the Week a few times.
I'm sure she has. But she, for a while, was that congresswoman who would support Trump, and no matter what it was.
She's the one who came out that Trump was Jesus.
I forgot about that.
That was Marjorie Taylor Greene. They persecuted Jesus, and that's what they're doing to Trump. And,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, that's how far this ship has come. Nate.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and maybe we'll get into some other things as well, but there's a lot of stuff to talk about this week. The Epstein thing, so it's changing a bit right now because I don't know if you saw it last night, Charlie, but Trump came out and he had a change of heart, or this was the plan the whole time, or whatever it is you want to say the case may be.
Well, he got word that they finally redacted everything they needed to redacted.
That could be it too.
I saw a hilarious comment going around that somebody made that was pretty good, actually. They said they know what's in the Epstein files, and they created a whole paragraph of redacted victim went to redacted's house.
Yeah. That's what it's going to be, probably.
Yeah, the whole thing read redacted, which I thought was pretty funny.
I hope that's not what we end up getting, but we really have no idea what we're going to get from this Epstein files release. How do we even know that the whole thing gets? Who makes sure that they released everything that they actually have? You know, how do you know if people went back and changed things during the Biden administration or the Trump administration? What's the process for even knowing that whatever information comes out is the real information? I don't. At the end of the day, you still somewhat have to trust your government to be giving you this information. It could end up being nothing, or it could end up being really big. I highly doubt it's nothing, considering they've put so much time into trying to block it from coming out, and they just won't release it themselves. And so I would say you lean towards it not being nothing, you know, because if it were not, they'd just be like, you guys, here, take it. There's nothing in there.
What would the fight be over?
Yeah, that's it. So anyhow, last night from the Wall Street Journal here, Trump backs vote to release Epstein files in sharp reversal. Now this is a win for Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey got Trump to capitulate on this because he pushed through with this discharge petition. It's going to happen. They're going to vote on it this week. They're going to win the vote, and they're going to come out. And so my personal opinion is Trump knows that that's what's going to happen, and so he wants to get on the right side of history right before it happens and say, yeah, guys, go vote for it, like he's the one who told them to go do it. I mean, that's clearly what's happening.
It's hilarious.
Is it not clearly what's happening?
It's so funny. Like you see the writing on the wall, so you join in.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, I told them to release that. What are you talking about? Come on." I'll just go to Trump's actual post on this, and we'll read that. So last night, 9:15 p.m., Trump posted out, "As I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party." Now, the hoax, in the way he's saying it right here, would be this distraction, this Epstein files distraction, because he's going to list a bunch of great things that his administration has done so far. And the distraction is everyone talking about the Epstein files. Now, there's an easy way to get everyone off of this distraction if you don't care what comes out that's in the files, and that would be to just release them. You don't have to go through a discharge petition in the House, nothing like that. You just release them, and then the Democrat hoax of distracting people from all the great things you've done wouldn't work.
It would just die.
Yeah, there would be no hoax at that point. He says, Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown, in quotes. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein, in quotes. Are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., and their relationship to Epstein. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care.
Legally entitled to.
Mm-hmm. This is, we'll get to this here in a second. I don't care. All I do care about is that the Republicans get back on point. They should get on point. I did a whole episode about this. I think, yeah, we did a whole episode on this last week or the week before. Like, they need to do a better job at making the point, whatever the point is. And it's been very confusing to figure out what that point is. But they got to do a better job of explaining if they're deregulating. That needs to be front and center. Front and center thing we're talking about. We're deregulating. It's going to be great for all these industries. They're talking about it in the healthcare industry and stuff too. That's good. I want to hear more about those things.
We're gearing up for war in Venezuela. That's for sure.
That too. Okay.
Yeah. Spinning up the base in Puerto Rico.
It says, back on point, which is the economy, affordability, where we are winning big, our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts. Now, we went through the CPI numbers last week or the week before, whatever day it was, and I think there were like 7 items that prices have actually come down on over the last year. And like everything else is up. Mm-hmm. Some of those items are important, sure, yeah, but eggs came down. But overall, the overall price inflation is still up, still inflation, still going up. Okay, the inflation rate is way lower than what it used to be, but the prices are still going up. Let's see here. Highest level. Reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investment into America, a record. The issue with a lot of the trillions of dollars in investment, people have seen so much investment going to like AI data centers. I don't know if he knows this. Those are not super popular right now. But there's other countries investing things in the U.S. too, and people want to actually see that happening. When you look at manufacturing numbers and stuff, it's actually going down. So like people need like... You can only tell people this is happening for so long before you need to see it in the numbers, and people actually need to see it in their own lives. Not saying it'll never happen, but it needs to. Let's see. Rebuilding our military.
Again.
That one always cracks me up, man. Like it was crumbling and falling apart at the end of Obama's term. He rebuilt the whole military while he was in office the first time, but
Biden crushed it.
Biden destroyed the military once again by continuing to spend more and more money on the military every year that he was also in office over what Trump spent. And now Trump is coming in to rebuild the military that Biden destroyed after he rebuilt it after Obama destroyed it. And
while telling Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office that he's going to like the fact that they're going to spend $1 trillion on the military.
Well, you got to rebuild it.
So
how are you going to rebuild it?
Now, why would a prime minister from a foreign country like that America is going to spend more money on their military?
Oh, I see. You're one of these people that thinks Israel is the problem all the time.
Anti-Semitic of me to say, to ask that question?
I'm not sure we can allow that kind of anti-Semitism on here.
By the way, speaking of that, did you see what he said of that Tucker was a good interviewer?
No, I've got that clip. We're not only going to talk bad about Trump today. He's got a good clip on the Fuentes Tucker thing where it's like a genuine free speech response to the situation. He could have just bashed Tucker the whole time, or he could have talked about anti-Semitism and stuff like that.
But he genuinely doesn't know.
And he's just
he probably got a call from Miriam Adelson that night, Adelson or whatever, however you want to say it. But like, you said what about Tucker?
Like it seemed like a genuine, just off the cuff, this is what I believe in this moment about this thing right here. And it was the right opinion to have. And so I'm not, I've got that pulled up. We're going to play it. We're not just going to talk bad the whole time. Don't worry. Although if you're worried about that, you probably turned the podcast off already, so you're not here. In which case I wouldn't need to say that because you wouldn't be here. Let's see. Securing our border. He's been doing that. Secured the border. Pretty good. I saw the Darien Gap this year. It only had like 2,000 people come through it or something like that. So that's good. Deporting criminally illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone. That they're missing a real opportunity to call this transgender for all, in quotes, like it's a Medicare for all program, or they call it transgender for all. Like that's the Democrats' policy. Real missed opportunity. He keeps missing it. And so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive. And if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory, which is why you should just release the stuff.
Yeah.
Just release
why
the
hold
stuff, Some members, in quotes, of the Republican Party are being used. So they're not really members and they're not really being used. And we can't let that happen. Just general way people would typically use quotes. That's what that would mean. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again. And like, if that's the case, then just release it. He could outsmart Thomas Massey today. Be like, screw you guys are having this vote. Well, I just released everything here.
Yeah, dump the files.
Screw the redactions. I'm just dumping everything out here. Right here on the desk. Here's everything.
That would be smart.
And maybe you will. That would be a smart thing, but I don't think that's what's going to happen because they did something else over the weekend. Now, Massey was out there talking to his Democrat friends about this, and here's what he had to say.
The president's gone after you in some deeply personal ways. I mean, attacking you over and over again, even attacking you for, regarding your wedding, your recent wedding, which, by the way, congratulations. What do you make of all that? And he's obviously supporting your primary opponents. I mean, what kind of retribution are you facing?
You know, my wife told me, she said, "I told you so. We should have invited Donald Trump. He's mad that he didn't get an invitation." So we're taking it with a grain of salt. He's being a bully or trying to be a bully. And they're trying to beat me here in Kentucky. But here's what's interesting. The people financing this campaign consist completely of 3 billionaires, and they're all in the Epstein class. In fact, one of them is named in Epstein's phone book, not the secret files that the FBI is keeping, but in Epstein's phone book. So it's a small world. Dogs don't bark at parked cars, and we are winning. I'm not tired of winning yet, but we are winning. And not only the speaker, but the attorney general, the FBI director, and the president himself and the vice president, they're taking a big loss this week because after months of fighting, I am winning this week with Ro Khanna. We're forcing this vote, and it's going to happen. I would remind my Republican colleagues who are deciding how to vote, Donald Trump can protect you in red districts right now by giving you an endorsement, but in 2030, he's not going to be the president, and you will have voted to protect pedophiles if you don't vote to release these files, and the president can't protect you then. This vote, the record of this vote, will last longer than Donald Trump's presidency.
The president.
So he's kind of giving a little warning there, just so you know, you're going to be on record. This is going to be used against you eventually in an election, and Trump's not going to be there. Yeah. And so let me see if the next thing I have.
I like that. You know, don't let the bullies bully you. Stand up.
So there's another post that Trump had earlier in the weekend concerning the Epstein. Let me read this for you real quick because it actually turns out to be pretty important, I believe. He says, now that the Democrats are using the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all of their other failures, I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him.
Now, I thought that they had already done these investigations. There was nothing to see.
Now they're going to reinvestigate. This is another Russia scam with all arrows pointing to the Democrats. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life with Epstein and on his island. Stay tuned. So he's reopening an investigation into a bunch of these people. What happens to your ability to release evidence when there's an open investigation?
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough to do.
So, as I believe, let me see here. Now there's the investigation. There you go. I believe this is Massey responding to that.
You know, the president's been saying this is a hoax. He's been saying that for months. Well, he's just now decided to investigate a hoax, if it's a hoax. And I have another concern about these investigations that he's announced. If they have ongoing investigations in certain areas, those documents can't be released. So this might be a big smokescreen, these investigations, to open a bunch of them as a last-ditch effort to prevent the release of the Epstein files.
Interesting.
Oh, we can't release that. It's under investigation. We're investigating these.
Even when he names someone like J.P. Morgan Chase, well, that's going to concern payments and bank accounts, and well, hell, that could involve all the files, all of them. And you could say, well, we're trying to go after these people. The FBI is reinvestigating this, and we'll get back to you, and tell you what we found, But it's not that our hands are tied right now. There's an open investigation, and as you know, you can't release all the evidence in an ongoing investigation, American people.
Yeah, and I agree, new guy Josh, the more Trump fights, the more guilty he looks. I was also listening to Josh's interview, new guy Josh's interview on Sunday, and it seems as if the Trump's Department of Justice has no problem just filing like retroactive lawsuits and things like that when they know they've lost, and to hold things up. So good interview on Sunday. Go listen to that episode from yesterday.
I did. So this, by the way, seems to be nothing. Probably shouldn't even mention it, but it is fun. I don't know if you saw the Bubba Trump going around.
Is that his nickname, Bubba? I thought he was a dog that doesn't bark.
So I don't know. It made for a lot of really good. It made for a lot of really good memes going around. And the question here was, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Now,
who's this from?
This is from Mark Epstein to his brother, Jeff Epstein. And so this made for a lot of great content on social media over the weekend because Bubba is a well-known nickname for Bill Clinton. And so this has been fun. It's been fun, but so the reason we're mentioning it is because Mark Epstein, the guy from the emails who said the thing, says that is not in any way a reference to former President Bill Clinton. So he says, recently emails from 2018 between my brother and me were made public. They were simply part of a humorous private exchange between two brothers and were never meant for public release or to be interpreted as serious remarks. For the avoidance of doubt, the reference to Bubba in this correspondence is not in any way a reference to former President Bill Clinton. Any attempt to conflate that reference with President Clinton or the read sweeping implications into them misrepresents both the purpose and the tone of the original correspondence. I want to be absolutely clear on this point so the public record is not distorted and so the speculation does not unfairly implicate people who are not actually being referenced in those communications.
So who was it then?
I don't know.
Tell us who Bubba was.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Mark.
Yeah.
Or
they just, or they were just making a ridiculous joke.
Do you have some of these memes?
If you want, I can just search.
Did it show Trump under the desk?
It just shows a picture of Bill Clinton and says there's two presidents in this photo, stuff like that. There's
I did
all
see
kinds
that,
of
but
stuff.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, so that's what there's
yeah.
It's that kind of that kind of thing. You got to be watching on YouTube some of the stuff. I'm just not gonna. Some of the stuff I'm just not gonna describe, but that's where we are today, and that is what Mark Epstein, the guy in the email, said about this. So I just wanted to put all the rumors to bed.
That's pretty funny.
That's what's going on. So the other thing we got was Trump withdrawing his support for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, this is what we've seen him do this for Massey, of course, and go after Rand Paul. I tend to get really upset about those things because I'm like, well, how are we ever going to get like liberty-minded people in Congress if they're just going to get, primaried out of there for voting for liberty-minded things? Like the whole plan, I believed in the Young Americans for Liberty strategy, which was always getting state legislators elected. They get notoriety, stuff like that. Then they can run for U.S. Congress or U.S. Senate, stuff like that. And then slowly we get a few people in at a time that are going to vote more like Thomas Massey. And so that's been like the one, finger in the dam of fiscal cliff.
And we slowly changed the guard.
Slowly, which I know there's a lot of like, anarchists or libertarians out there that are like, oh, you're never going to, vote your way out of this.
Not with that.
It's never going to work.
Not with that attitude,
Yeah.
Andy.
And so I get it. Like maybe having some kind of hope in the right people getting elected is the wrong thing to do. And of course, we got to focus on changing the people that are doing the electing and not focus so much on the people. But anyhow, Trump went after Marjorie Taylor Greene, which was a crazy thing. My point in that statement was I don't get as upset with the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing because up until very, very recently, Marjorie Taylor Greene has just always gone along with whatever Trump wanted to do at any time. Like, she's been outspoken about the Israel thing and all that. But the Israel thing is not my biggest thing. We talk about it, but it's not. My biggest thing is the economy. My biggest thing is, what are we taxing and spending your money on? How much is the government spending? All spending is taxation. And that's what we have to fix. Our $2 trillion deficits are literally going to destroy the country. 2033, Social Security and one of the Medicare trust funds run out of money. And we got to do something about our fiscal problem here in the U.S. That is my number one thing. If we were to stop all of our foreign aid to Israel, you don't even see it represented on a graph of government spending. And so while I disagree with us being involved in Israel stuff, it's not the top issue.
I mean, it could pay for SNAP for a year.
Sure. Yeah, which we should get rid of anyway.
Yeah.
No. Yes. But yeah. Let me go through what he said.
Walmart was busy this weekend.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went out.
I don't know why.
I went out and got my shopping done before the payments went out. It was nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smooth.
He says, yeah.
Could find everything you needed.
He says, I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene and the great state of Georgia. He's withdrawing the support of the great state of Georgia also?
No.
Okay.
He said of.
Of the great state of Georgia. I said and. Okay, there you go. Over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports, or transgender for everyone. Once again, missed opportunity. Just saying it bugs me. Ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world as opposed to being the laughing stock that we were just 12 months ago, having trillions of dollars, record-setting, invested in the USA, and having created the hottest country anywhere in the world. Climate change people say the same thing. From being a dead country just 12 months ago and so much more, all I see wacky Marjorie do is complain, complain, complain. It seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12% and didn't have a chance unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get.
The way he talks is so funny.
He said it started with him sending that poll, but that mean at the time that he sent the poll, he hadn't removed his endorsement. So why wouldn't he endorse her at that time? Because I thought this was a
also
new
she
thing.
Was only polling at 12% with his endorsement.
I'm not sure.
Well, at the time,
and didn't have a chance unless she had my endorsement. But I would say in that poll, it would be assumed that she would have Trump's endorsement at the time
it
the
hadn't
poll
been
was
withdrawn.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's not sure about that one. She has told many people that she's upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore, but with 219 congressmen, women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members in almost 200 countries, and an otherwise normal life to lead, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primary Marjorie in her district of Georgia, that they too are fed up with her and her antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left, even doing The View, and their low IQ Republican-hating anchors. Well, that's accurate. Thank you for attending this matter. Make America great again.
Hasn't like J.D. Vance been on The View?
Yeah, I mean, so the issue is not with...
Hasn't Trump been on The View?
The issue can't be with doing The View. Like, you can't set that standard. Like, oh, they did The View. I mean, you want people to go out there. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, throughout the shutdown, at least towards the end of it, did start going out there, especially once the focus became Obamacare. She started going out and talking a lot about health expenses. And I don't think she ever outright said it, but the way she was saying it was that we couldn't let this funding expire. I don't think she said it outright, but she was talking about how her kids... that their premiums were about to go from whatever $800 a month to $2,000 a month, and that many people were feeling that, and she kept saying like, well, what's the Republicans' plan? Like, no one's put up a plan, and she never put up a plan either. And she wasn't saying that they had to make the Obamacare deal, but she was kind of saying this would be a disaster if we let these subsidies expire de facto, is what she was saying. So you have a plan.
So she's going far left.
Yeah, and that was about and then she has been really hard on the Israel Netanyahu.
That's
all of
the
that
biggest
stuff.
crime.
I go back and forth on this. Like, I think Trump can put up with the Israel stuff as he had. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been critical of the Israel stuff for a while now. She didn't just start that, but she still votes in alignment with Trump. Like, she complained about the big, beautiful bill. I think the week before said she wouldn't vote for it because of these things she didn't like, and then she voted for it when it came down to it. And that's why it's important to stick when you make, and Trump would know this as a negotiator, when you make a threat and you say, if this doesn't change, I'm not going to vote for this. If you then turn around and vote for it, then no one ever has a reason to listen to you say that you're not going to vote for it.
Yeah.
But if you turn around and don't vote for it because the thing didn't change, then they have to actually consider that.
Yeah, and she has been a very big advocate for releasing the Epstein files.
She has. But even that, so he put up with the Israel thing from MTG. She's still supporting him, voting for his bills, stuff like that. The Epstein files, that's what a lot of people have gone for. And I don't even think that that's it, because Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace also signed the discharge petition and went up and gave the speeches when the victims, they did the press conference and all that kind of stuff. He hadn't said anything about them because they still just support Trump on everything that he does, except for they want to force the release of the Epstein files, and that's their one thing. And so maybe it's a combination of the Epstein files, the foreign policy stuff, and her complaining about not being America first, being Israel first, or being America last, or whatever, like kind of going after him on things like that. Because she still like votes for whatever he wants votes on, unless it's money for Israel or something.
Yeah.
So I think her going around to The View and CNN and all sorts of different places that are left-wing talk shows, and not like going after Trump hard, but agreeing that there were big problems that were not getting solved, kind of thing.
She's a female version of Thomas Massey right now on a few things.
On a few things.
On a few things.
Like, I'm not super upset about this one because she still votes for whatever Trump wants. Like, if he puts up a bill that's got a $2 trillion deficit, like, she'll vote for it. And so she's been good on the foreign policy stuff, sure. But I know the foreign policy stuff is super important, but like, we got a fiscal problem here in the U.S. And if you continue to vote for the continuation of that fiscal problem, I'm not going to be like your biggest supporter who's going to be upset when someone goes against you or tries to get you out of office.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, it's not going to matter.
No.
Like the wars aren't going to matter. We're going to lose the wars because then we'll be broke.
Yeah, because our military's crumbling.
Yeah.
So we can't pay for it. That wasn't the only post he had. He said, lightweight Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Brown. He says, green grass turns brown when it begins to rot.
God, this guy.
Betrayed the entire Republican Party when she turned left, performed poorly on the pathetic View, and became the rhino that we all know she always was. Just another fake politician, no different than Rand Paul Jr., Thomas Massey, who got caught being a full-fledged Republican in name only. Make America great again.
Yeah. This is where we need someone to make a phone call to be like, stop hating on the only libertarian candidate, like the libertarian person in office.
Yeah, I've made that request. It's just not going to happen. This Republican in name only thing bothers me because I'm like, so what are you saying a Republican is? Someone votes against the $2 trillion deficit or the continuation of spending $7 trillion a year. If your party, the Republican Party, supports doing that and you don't want to do that, then you're a Republican in name only.
Someone who doesn't like taking a percentage of American companies, the government taking somebody who doesn't like spending trillions of dollars fighting all these wars?
He didn't. I think the latest one was Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican. That's a way better nickname as far as nicknames go.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Brown, and then the explanation in parentheses, it's not going to work. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, that works. Now, if you wanted to turn it up a notch, because her last name is spelled Greene, when he says green, he should put like dollar signs after it, and then make the implication that she's only in Congress to enrich herself, like that kind of thing. I'm not like, I don't want him to do this. I'm just saying there's more options here. There's emojis you could use in this scenario. Let's see. That's we don't need Scott Jennings talking about this. Let's get to MTG. She says, President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all, but I did send these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge, the Epstein files. That's what she's saying. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example to scare all the other Republicans before next week's vote to release the Epstein files. It's astonishing, really, how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out. That he actually goes to this level. But really, most Americans wish he would fight this hard to help the forgotten men and women of America who are fed up with foreign wars and foreign causes and are going broke trying to feed their families and are losing hope of ever achieving the American dream. So over the last month or so, I would say Marjorie Taylor Greene, the best description would be that she became more empathetic with the plight of the American worker, is what happened. And
I mean, her constituents are probably saying these things.
Yeah.
You have to remember these people are specifically beholden to their constituents in their district. And I think she's actually right in that economics is probably the number one most important thing. And a lot of people are upset that we are able to spend this money on foreign wars, but we can't spend it on America. They want the America first agenda.
Economics is always the most important thing. Like, you can achieve world peace. You could have a two-state solution, Palestine and Israel, all this living together in harmony. But if people can't afford groceries, no one gives a shit about that stuff. As I said last week or the week before, whenever it was, world peace is something a beauty pageant contestant says. It's great. It's a noble goal. It's an amazing thing that people should go for. But that doesn't matter if people can't afford their groceries. And so that's what people really care about. Always. That's how it's the hierarchy of needs. You got to be able to have a house and feed your family and have electricity and stuff like that.
I didn't know she had large text on her phone.
It is big.
Yeah.
How old is she? This would be from her. It's blue, so it's from her. It says, check the flight logs of Epstein's plane. Bill Clinton is on there like 26 times. Wait, is it blue when someone texts you or blue when you text someone else? Which one
it's when you send the text.
When you send the text?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is her.
Like,
this is Marjorie Taylor Brown sending a blue text.
Hillary too, exclamation point. For many of us, releasing the Epstein files has always been for the women. Oh, I could have just read that far and not asked whether or not it was her or him. For many of us, releasing the Epstein files has always been for the women who were victims of Jeffrey Epstein, but also because we believed that Democrat bad guys like the Clintons were entangled and involved with him. Epstein was the spider that wove the web of the deep state. Lean into it. He's like, I can't. So it's going to fall on me too. No, I still don't even think that's the case. I think it's going to fall on...
They're going to call me Bubba.
I think it's going to fall on his friends. Like, I think it's that, or I think...
Oh, like what's his name? Who's, can't think of his name now. Who holds a Secretary of Commerce or whatever his name is.
Oh, Howard Lutnick?
Yeah, Lutnick.
That guy?
Yes.
Yeah, could fall on his friends too. Maybe people in his administration.
So did she get blocked? Is that why her message turned
that
green?
was to another person.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who Natalie is, so I'm not sure why it's super important. I don't know who probably someone who works for Trump. I'm not sure. Here is her responding. Do you have a heart stop?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, crap. She was saying that her life is in danger. Apparently, she's getting pizza delivery hoaxes right now. I guess that's the first step, which I agree could be scary. Someone delivers a hot, fresh, delicious pizza to your door, but what are they saying? They're saying, I know what kind of pizza you like. No, they're saying, I know where you live. That's what they're actually saying. And so if that's, that's happening, that could be scary. So she's saying her life is in danger.
Her life could be in danger because of the rhetoric.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
That's mean. That's just mean.
It is. God, every time you got to give it to him, though.
No, I mean,
great TV. Who's that?
who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let me just correct you real quick.
So,
Her life in danger? No, nobody cares about her. Nobody cares about her that much. Oh, God. He is humorous.
No, I mean, that's funny. I laugh for sure.
He's got to be the funniest president.
I played it. He's a naturally funny guy. So since we only have a few minutes, I will play the Fuentes clip too. I just want to say, I don't think this stuff is helpful. The MAGA coalition was grouped together, a lot of different groups who wanted different things. And
it's a different coalition than what we had in 2016.
Yeah. That base already kind of fractionated off a little bit. It was like diehard MAGA supporters, and then people who just were sick of Obama at that time, or they hated Hillary and all that. You didn't really know for sure what you're going to get from Trump in that moment, and so some of those people probably fell off because they didn't like exactly what they were getting. But this time, you got the diehard MAGA base, which Marjorie Taylor Greene has always been a part of. And then you get like anti-war people, or at least sick of needless foreign war people in there. You get fiscal hawk type people with the Doge stuff. You get the Maha people in there with RFK Jr. And a lot of these things. Like
Don't forget, Thomas Massey endorsed President Trump.
He did, yeah, he did
in 2024.
And which I don't know what could be done about that, but people don't like seeing RFK Jr. Touting GLP-1s or being up there doing press conferences with the CEO of Pfizer and stuff like that. So they start thinking that, of course, he's already betrayed that movement. And I can't confirm that that's what's going on. I think from what I can tell right now, RFK is still playing the game that he has to play to be in the position that he's in. But some of those people think that RFK Jr.'s first step would be to never allow those people to ever talk to anyone in government ever again, or to march them off in handcuffs for murder or something like that. And that's just not what's going to happen. There's a game here that has to be played, and I understand that. The anti-war people, or the anti-unnecessary foreign conflicts people, are pissed. Started really a lot with the Iran thing, maybe having BB to the White House a few times, or spending like $20 billion protecting them from Iran. And now the Venezuela stuff going on as well. Like, those people are going to fall off. Anyone who cared about fiscal responsibility has decided, like, meet the new boss, somewhat worse than the old boss when it comes to spending. And so if you're not careful, you're going to just be left with your diehard MAGA base who will just go along with whatever it is that you say at any time. And those aren't people who can like carry the Republican Party into the future, because they're just in love with Trump, and he's going to be gone sometime. Mm-hmm. And maybe they'll transfer some of that to a new guy potentially, but that can't carry you. You're going to have to be able to keep these groups together. And right now what I see is no thought or care for attempting to appease or keep the groups together. They clearly don't care about libertarians. That like Stephen Miller and some of them outright just go after libertarians. You don't care about that, or the fiscal hawk Republicans, nothing like that. They've all but said, we don't need you in our movement. And I'm just telling you, that's not the case. That's not going to be a good recipe going forward. It took bringing all these people together to have that win, which they call a blowout win because he won all the swing states, and which means he won the electoral count by a lot. He did not win the popular vote by a wide margin. And he still got less than 50% of the vote. Like this, you need these groups of people together. And so they need to accept that and act like that. Even if you disagree, You don't have to just outright say screw you to all these different groups of people.
Yeah, bringing RFK Jr. into the fold, obviously bringing libertarians into the fold. There's a lot of things that helped him, get this victory. So you can't just forgo that. And then the thing that upsets me the most is he ran on all these campaign promises, and the first 100 days looked amazing, or whatever it was, 50 days, I guess. And it seemed, and maybe I'm biased because I'm in these certain circles, but it seemed as if it was really popular among a lot of Americans that we were going to cut spending and we were going to do all these sorts of things. And everybody was really excited about that. And then he's just, it seems as if the deep state is deeper than we thought. There's an upside down world that is difficult to break through. And he just continues on basically the same agenda that American presidents have done for 100 years.
It's because each one of these little groups of spending has their own little interest group behind it. So every time you try to cut something, someone comes up and says, well, you can't do that. And even when they did cut some things, like if Doge found cuts, they didn't return the money to the Treasury to be used towards next year's deficit. They found different things to spend the money on. The first year they threw in $300 billion extra spending for defense and border and stuff like that, with the first big beautiful bill, and then maybe they're going to make cuts if they keep
10 years from now.
If they keep the cuts, and that's the easier path, and really that's because the American people aren't as fond of cutting the government as they like to act, because everyone likes their thing that they get. Here's a really great response, the last minute of Trump. This is a natural response that's a way to bring people together, because he had the chance to just eviscerate Tucker Carlson here, and he decided not to. And I just want to play it, okay? It's a good thing.
I've had some great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide. The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us, and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
You yourself had dinner with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago a few years ago. What role should he play in the conservative movement?
Well, I didn't know he was coming, and he was with, as you know, somebody, Kanye. And Kanye asked if he could have dinner, and he brought Nick. I didn't know Nick at the time. And he did. He came, and along with a few other people. He brought a few people with him. Meeting people, talking to people, like for somebody like Tucker, that's what they do. People are controversial. Some are, some aren't. I'm not controversial, so I like it that way.
Just always.
But I'm not controversial. All right, y'all. Well, I guess we'll leave you on that note.
We'll pick this conversation up tomorrow.
If you enjoyed today's episode, share it around. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Go to GodHatesFeds.com and pick up some merchandise. Click the button, joingmail.com, to go to the Fed Haters Club, joingmail.com. And visit the links in the show notes to support the sponsors that support this show. If you do all of that, then we'll be back again tomorrow. Hope you have a good day and a good morning, Liberty.